What's up guys, VenomRB here. So today I'm going to be going over every single car in UD, just in the dealership showing it, and saying if it's either worth it, not worth it, and why. First on the list, Ford F-150 Raptor. This is a pretty good truck. I would say if you're looking for something to grind with, this is definitely not worth it. However, if you want a really nice truck, then this is worth it. Next on the list, Koenigsegg Gemera. This car costs $3.8 million. It is not worth it. It is super buggy. Another truck I don't know the name of. This is not worth it either. A monster van. This is worth it if you love trolling people. The A-Team van. This is really not worth it at all. Next up, SSC Tuatara. This car is worth it if you don't have a single hypercar. However, if you do, you're just better off getting an F5. Next up, a white van, ideal for kidnapping kids. If you're into that, then this is worth it. If not, then there's absolutely no reason you should get this. Next up, this thing that's rank 15. This is really not worth it at all. Next up, Old Betsy's truck. This is not worth it at all. Next up, Scion FRS. This is rank 5, and when you should get it, you should definitely use it for grinding, so worth it. Next up, Toyota FJ Cruiser. This is a pretty decent truck looks-wise, but really not useful for anything else. Don't get it. Prius GT, rank 30. Great for absolutely nothing other than rice. This is definitely not worth it. I believe this is a RAV4, don't kill me if it's not, but this thing is not worth it at all. It's terrible. Toyota Supra, every tuner's dream car. As there's no modifications in UD, there's absolutely no point to this car at all, so not worth it. New Supra, not really worth it either for grinding. It's a little overpriced for the speed, so yeah, not worth it. Next up, Toyota AE86. It's cool, I guess. It's cheap. If you like drifting, then I mean, this is a pretty good car, so I'd say worth it. Toyota Prius, the ultimate Karen mobile. If you love Karen roleplay, then this is the car for you. Next up, Prius. If you're into Karen roleplay, then this is the car for you. If you don't do that stupid stuff, then yeah, don't buy it. Ferrari Enzo. This can sort of compete with the 918 in price and performance, but honestly, just get a Senna or something, or a De Tomaso. So honestly, not worth it. Ferrari Testarossa looks terrible with the one mirror. Would not recommend it. It is overpriced for what you get, but it's a fun car to drive still. However, not worth it. Chrysler 300Z something. It's definitely a really nice car for under 100K, and I would say worth it if you're starting out. Ferrari F50, pretty decent car, but not worth it because not the best performance for the price. Dodge Charger, this is rank 35 and is definitely worth it for using when you're a noob. Ferrari Roma, at least I think that's what it's called, definitely not worth it. Terrible performance. It costs 1,300 gems and it's just a waste of them. Do not buy it. Dodge Ram something horn, I forgot the name of it. Pretty decent truck, but not really worth it at all. Ferrari 488 Pista. This is a pretty decent car, but then you realize there's a such thing as a Celine S7, and then it's not so worth it. So yeah, for the price, not worth it. Just save up and get a Celine. Ferrari 812. This car is rank 150. Not really worth it for grinding. It's a cool car, but not worth it for grinding with. This car, I have no idea what this is. I have a feeling I'm going to get a lot of hate for that in the comments, but yeah, I just don't. Maybe it's a Chevelle or something. I have no freaking idea. But, not worth it at all. Terrible stats and performance. A minivan. Absolutely no reason for you to ever buy this. Don't get it. Dodge, I think Neon. I don't know. It's not worth it. Just don't get it. Bad performance. Dodge Demon, you can't even buy this thing anymore, so I mean, if you're a noob, it was worth getting and using, but yeah, you can't get it now, so not worth it, I guess. I don't know where this even leaves us. 1996 Dodge Viper. As much as I wish this was worth it, it's not. 2013 Dodge Viper. This isn't a terrible car, but it's just worth saving up the extra for the MP412C, so not worth it. An old Ford, probably an F-150, but to be honest, I have no idea. I don't know trucks very well. Yeah, not worth it. Not good performance for the price. A Ram Rebel Concept, I think is what this is called. I mean, it's a pretty nice truck, and it's probably the best looking truck in all of UD. If you like trucks, then I'd say it's worth it. If you don't get it. Ford Explorer. This is an absolutely terrible car, and there's absolutely no reason you would ever get this. It has a bad top speed and is kind of overpriced. Potmobile. This is free and is no longer obtainable, so I guess you can't even get it anymore. But even if it was still free, it's not worth using for grinding or anything else. Ford F-150. No reason you should ever buy this. It's stupid. 1999 Ford Mustang GT. This is free when you start, but I mean, not a good starter car. You're better off getting an Audi TT, so yeah, not worth it. Ford something. I have no idea. Not worth it at all. Piece of trash. No good performance. Thanos truck. This was free a while back and is no longer obtainable, so I mean, not really worth it or not worth it. I don't know. Chicken car. This was also free but no longer is, so again, there's no answer to this. Old stupid something. I don't even know what this is. Oh yeah, don't get it. It's terrible. Something. What is this? A Tahoe? I don't know. Whatever it is, it sucks. Don't buy it. It's a piece of junk. Ford Crown Victoria. This is free, so I mean, yeah, worth it. You can't go wrong with it if it's free. Shelby GT500. I know on the GT350 I said Ford. That's my bad. I know it's a Shelby. This is, again, not worth it. You might as well save up a bit more and get an MP412C. Chevrolet Camaro. This is was thought to be one of the best cars for the price for noobs, but it's really not. Just get a Chrysler 300C or just use rank cars for an MP412C. Ford Mustang GT350, not really worth it. You're just better off getting an MP412C. Ford F-150 monster truck or F-250, I don't freaking know. Basically F-150 something. Worth it if you like trolling, not worth it for anything else. Old Ford Mustang GT, really not worth it at all. Just get a Chrysler 300C or something else like that. Next up, Dodge Charger wide body. Yeah, not worth it. Expensive for what you get. Camaro V6 thingy. Yeah, not worth it. Don't buy it. An old Camaro. This is a decent car because it's really cheap, but then you're better off just using rank cars. So yeah, not worth it. Don't get it. Old Camaro. Yeah, don't get this. This is also pretty bad. I'm not hating on it, I'm just saying the top speed is not good. Old Chevrolet, what is this, a Chevelle? I think it's a Chevelle, I don't really know. Yeah, it's a rank car, so I guess when you unlock it you can screw around with it, but it's really not worth it for grinding or anything. So, an old Chevrolet Corvette, this is not worth it at all, bad top speed. Chevrolet ZR1. Pretty good car, maybe worth grinding at rank 100 depending on what you have. C8 Corvette, this is a pretty nice car, but ultimately not worth it because the MP412C exists. Don't buy it. This thing, I have no idea what this is called, Chevrolet something. Good for farmers, I suppose, but not really useful for anything else. Modern day Potmobile, absolutely useless. El Camino, at least I think that's what this is. Yeah, not worth it. Bad top speed, usual classic thing. Lamborghini Centenario, Basically an Aventador with a body kit that costs $4.8 million. I would not recommend this, just get a Venom F5 instead. Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, pretty decent car, okay stats, but just grind more for a 918 or a Senna. Lamborghini Aventador, owned by sometimes the most salty people on planet Earth. Yeah, would not recommend this one. Just save yourself the names and get a Celine S7. Also, this is much worse for grinding than an S7. Lamborghini Murcielago. I'm American. Don't hate on me for the pronunciation. Not worth it at all. Just get a Celine S7. Golf cart. No, not worth it at all. I mean, it's only $5,000, so I guess you can't go wrong. But yeah, it's just not worth it. Huracan Performante, just don't get it and get a Celine S7. Lamborghini Countach, not worth it. You know, not a great top speed. Looks cool though. BMW M5, pretty nice luxury car, but just get an MP412C. I mean, I'm gonna say this a lot. Same with like me saying a lot of get the S7, but it's just true. Huracan Evo, rear wheel drive, pretty cool car, but yeah, still just get a Celine S7. Gumpert Apollo, a pretty good rank car to use when you unlock it. If you don't have a better car, I definitely recommend you grind with this, so worth it. Apollo IE, basically a dumb car with a bad top speed. Just get a Venom F5 instead for a lot less. Jeep Wrangler or Rubicon, actually it's probably Rubicon, at 170 gems or whatever, not really worth it. Probably should just get a truck, like a Raptor. A Jeep Wrangler, still not worth it, bad performance. Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, never get this. This is basically a stupid SUV that has bad performance, basically. Not worth it at all, just get an MP412C. Jeep Gladiator, this is not at all worth it. It can barely even move because it has like 0 torque. Keep in mind, this doesn't have a new chassis yet. I know I should know what this car is, but I have no freaking idea. Ignore the wrap. Not really worth it at all. It's pretty expensive for what you get. Older Subaru WRX, I guess. Not really worth it. Looks cool. I mean, you can rally cross RP, I guess, but not worth it. Lamborghini Veneno. Another Aventador that costs $9 million. Just get a Bugatti Diva or a La Voiture Noir. This car is not worth it at all. Subaru WRX ST09, something like that. I forgot what it was. It's free, but, well, it was free, but it's no longer obtainable, so, yeah, inconclusive. Hummer H1, this is a piece of junk because it has 0 torque. Once it has torque, it'll actually be pretty cool. Nissan R34 Skyline, yeah, not worth it, just get an MP412C. This Nissan Silvia or something, I don't remember. Yeah, not worth it at all, pretty bad performance for the price. Nissan 350 or 70Z, I have no idea still. Rank 10, this is definitely worth it grinding after you get out of your Scion FRS. Nissan 370Z Nismo, I guess, I have no idea. Worth it, I suppose, but not really at the same time. It's really up to you. This car could go either way. This really disgusting car, yeah, not worth it at all. Not worth it at all. Bad performance. Just stay far away from this piece of junk. Old BMW M3, I think, not really worth it. I mean, it's like 40 gems, but yeah, still not worth it. Rolls-Royce Dawn or Wraith, one of those. Not really worth it at all. Just get an MP412C. It's fun for rich roleplay, but nothing else. This thing, not worth it. $4,000, but barely moves. A Trabant something, I don't even know what this is. Only $1,000, but not worth it at all. Just keep your starter car. Lawnmower, this is absolutely useless unless you want to mow someone's lawn. I mean, it's $1,500, but yeah, still absolutely useless for anything but mowing lawns. Noble MC12 or something like that. I don't remember quite. Not really worth it for grinding, to be honest. It's ranked 90 or something, but yeah, just not worth it. This thing, yeah, not worth it. Bad top speed and stuff. Volkswagen Beetle, probably the worst purchase you can make. Terrible top speed, not worth it. Do not buy this. Honda S2000, really not worth it. Just save up for something a bit more expensive. Audi RS5 or 4, I don't know. TTP owns it. It's a cool car, but definitely not worth $200,000+. Just save up a bit more for an MP412C. Honda Fit, yeah, really not worth it. Wouldn't recommend it. Bad performance. Another car I don't know. Yeah, don't buy it. It's just not worth it. I don't know what this is either, but I just know it's not worth it. Don't buy it. Bad performance as usual. Honda Civic Type R, that's still Rice from a UD Stereotypes video. Don't buy it. It's not a terrible car, but it's just not worth it. There's other cheaper cars that are better. Audi TT, this is the best starter car in the game for the, I guess, value, but it's free. I don't know. It's the best you can get. So, yeah, worth it. Audi R8, this is not worth it at all. Just get an MP412C for cheaper. This rank 350 Alfa Romeo, again, forgot the name. Yeah, not really worth it if you're just grinding for this car, and it's useless for grinding. So, yeah, I would not recommend this. Lotus Elise, this is a pretty good car for handling, but, I mean, for the price, you can get much better cars, so wouldn't really recommend it. Aston Martin Valkyrie, this car is completely worth it for using, not for grinding, but for racing. If you're ranked 300 or close, I would just recommend getting it for this car. Probably the best race car in Ultimate Driving for, like, the track. Pretty sick car, just bad for grinding. But yeah, if you like racing, definitely worth it. This Renault, oh gosh, Alfa Romeo, yeah, I really can't think. I'm not sure what this even is. I forgot. Don't really get it. It's not worth 400 plus gems. Just save your gems for like a Senna GTR or something. Hennessy Venom F5. Probably the best car in all of UD that everyone can use. If you have like 500,000 miles or 5,000 miles, this is a good car for you. If you already have a hypercar, then I'd recommend getting this like after a Senna or something. Lotus Exige, it was free, so, and is no longer available, so you can't really say anything about it. It's a pretty good car, though. This thing, Aston Martin or something, yeah, not worth it, would not recommend it. And Aston Martin, I don't even know what model, they all look the same to me. Not worth it at all. Pretty bad performance for the price, to be completely honest. Just don't get it. McLaren MP412C. This is probably the best car, well, in my opinion, the best car for in between the S7 and your sort of starter cars. Definitely a good car, and I would recommend everyone who's looking for a car around 350k get it. McLaren 570S. Now, this and the MP412C are very close, so it's really up to styling. This, however, is slightly worse than the MP412C. So I would recommend getting the MP412C instead, but it's barely a difference at all. McLaren 675 LTE, again, just get a Celine S7, really not worth it. McLaren 600 LT, this is another very nice car, but again, the Celine S7 exists, so just get that instead. McLaren Senna GTR, this might have the best acceleration in the game because it's kind of broken. One of the best cars, in my opinion, the best gem car for the value, so I would say it's worth it. Not good for grinding though. McLaren Speedtail, this is a pretty decent car for grinding, but it's in a similar price range to the Venom F5, so you're better off just getting that. McLaren P1, this is a pretty good car, but I mean, just get a Senna and then save for a Tuatara F5 and keep the extra 700,000 for later. McLaren F1. This is a really nice car. It's ranked 200. I still wouldn't recommend using it for anything, but just car shows or whatever. It's a pretty good car though, but yeah, I wouldn't really recommend using it. The whatever year Fleetwood Bounder. This is a pretty good RV. I mean, there's only one RV in UD, so your choices are pretty limited to say the least. I would recommend this if you're into roleplay or just like big vehicles in general. It's pretty fun to just mess around with. Bugatti Divo. This is the third best car in Ultimate Driving XP. Well, not XP, but price-wise. Not really worth it. You can go either way. If you don't grind much, then get this. If you grind a lot, then get the LVN. It really just depends what your playstyle is. Bugatti La Voiture, mainly called the LVN. This is the best car in all of UD for grinding. Cash, definitely worth it if you're into grinding. This is basically a must-have. This thing, yeah, not worth it at all. It's like 200 plus gems and a piece of garbage. Don't get it. Bugatti Veyron, a decent car for grinding, but I mean, not worth it when there's a such thing as a Hennessy Venom F5. Mazda 3 hatchback, again, wouldn't recommend it. It's just, there's no point in getting it. Mazda RX-7, RX-8, something like that. Not really worth it, would not recommend it. Celine S5S Raptor, this isn't a terrible deal, but again, just get an MP412C instead. I have zero idea what this car is, and I'm not going to waste time trying to guess. Actually, maybe it's Jaguar E-Type. Alright, whatever. That's my guess. Something like that. Jaguar, I guess, maybe. I don't freaking know. Not worth it at all. The Celine S7, basically a La Voiture for noobs. Definitely worth it. You basically have to get this car. It's so good. A lot of people say the Tesla's better, but it's really not. This is a great car to use to get a Senna, but really you should use it to get an F5. Koenigsegg Jesko, this is the fastest car in all of UD, and also I believe has the best drag time in all of UD. It's not really worth it because of it's like 5.6 million and the Venom F5 is 4.4 million. So it's not worth it. You are better off just using the Venom to grind for something else. But if you want a lot of miles, this is a really good car for it. However, people do whine about it being hard to control. I'd say it's really not. But yeah, not really worth it because of the price. However, once you've beaten the game and you want some more miles, this is a pretty good option. Pagani Huayra BC. This is quite a nice car. But the only reason you would ever get this is if you got out of a spin. Otherwise, it's not worth getting. If you're a noob, it's worth grinding with, but that's about the only reason. This thing, yeah, don't get it. It's a piece of junk. Just don't buy it. This old Mercedes, it's ranked 250, so you can't even buy it. But yeah, not really worth it for grinding or anything. This De Tomaso, one of the two. It's pretty nice. Definitely a rival to the 918, and it's a pretty good deal to be honest. So if you don't like the 918, this is not a bad option at all. The Smart Car. This is a very nice car for killing cops, or so I'm told by Mr. Blocksman. I'm not sure if there's any point in buying this, but it's a decent car. Yeah, basically buy it for fun and for the meme. Otherwise, there's no point. This Tesla wagon thingy, yeah, don't use this at all. It's like rank 167 and it's a pile of junk. Lexus LFA, this is a really cool car, but I mean, it doesn't sound good, obviously. And yeah, there's no point in it, just getting a Celine S7. But even if the S7 didn't exist, there's better options because this has a pretty bad top speed. Mercedes GT3, GTR, or GTR, GT3, one of those two, I got them mixed up. But a pretty decent car, really good at racing. I mean, it's for the price, it's like 650 gems. Pretty worth it, to be honest. You get a full-on race car. It's pretty epic. Tesla Model S, this is not worth it at all. Just don't buy it. I don't know the name of this either, but yeah, it's still not worth it unless you want or like classics. So yeah. Yeah, this is going to make a lot of people mad. I don't know what this is. Pontiac GTO? I don't freaking know. I'm not going to try guessing. It's a ranked car, so if you have it unlocked, then use it, but not for grinding. Just for classic car meets. Pretty useless. Tesla Roadster 2.0. A lot of people think this is better than a Celine S7. It's not. If you want to look, I made a video on why it's not. But, it's just not worth it. It's got decent stats, and 250 miles an hour for like 500,000 is pretty good, but the stats are bad. So yeah, just save up for a Celine S7. Don't let the 250 fool you. Pontiac G8. This is free, but not worth it anymore with an Audi TT and stuff being available for free too. And the DeLorean, yeah, not worth it. It looks pretty cool, but just not worth it. Fun fact, the moderators have a time machine version of these. Ferrari F8 Tributo, pretty cool car, not worth it at all. Just get the Celine S7. That's basically how it is with every car in this price range. An old Porsche Carrera GT, is not Carrera GT, Carrera, I don't freaking know, whatever it is. Not really worth it. It's like 3,500 gems and doesn't have that good a performance. Just save up for a Senna GTR. Porsche Taycan Turbo, is it called a Turbo? I don't remember. Turbo, something like that. Not really worth it. It's a pretty cool car, but yeah, just not worth it. The box truck, currently this is absolutely useless and I would really not recommend it at all. This Ferrari, I have no idea what it's called, so I'm just going to say in game, which is C20 Flavio. Piece of garbage, don't buy it. It's absolutely terrible. Just save up for like a 918 Senna Hennessy Venom F5. Just don't get this. Ferrari F40, this is a really nice looking car, at least from the back, but not worth it. It's got good handling, but that's about it. Porsche Boxster Spider, I guess is what this is. Rank 50, definitely worth grinding for it. Rank 50 if you don't have something better. Ferrari 360. It amazes me that this is still so expensive. It's like $500,000+. It's the biggest ripoff in UD, maybe, at this price range. Do not ever get this under any circumstances. Just get the Celine S7. Porsche 911 Turbo, I think. Again, just don't get it. It's not worth it. Get an MP412C. This was my first supercar though, so that's pretty cool. Next up, Dodge Challenger. Not even sure what model, so I'm not going to even try and guess. Yeah, not worth it. Looks okay, I guess, but for the price, better cars out there. Ferrari Sergio. This is absolutely not worth it. Never buy this. It's really a piece of junk. Dodge Chrysler 300C. I don't know what the frick this is. No, this is a Dodge Charger. I don't know. Whatever this is, it's not worth it. Dodge Charger or something. Yeah, not worth it. Just don't buy it. Old Dodge Challenger, I would assume. Not worth it again, because old car, top speed. Dodge not Challenger, what am I saying? Dodge SRT pickup truck. It's fast, it's cool, it's not worth it. Don't buy it. Chevrolet Corvette C6, I believe. This is a pretty decent car. It's not the worst car you can get for the money, but not the best. So all in all, not worth it. But still, if you like the car, not a terrible purchase either. A Ferrari 250 GTO. This makes the most XP out of any car in the game per hour. So if you're going to grind from rank 400 to 500, then you should use this. If you want money, then just stick to the LVN. This is really not worth it unless you're rank grinding. And it's unlockable at 400, so it takes a while to get. This thing, yeah, still not worth it. Dodge, I have no idea what. Old car, stats, you know, performance. Corvette C7, this is absolutely not worth it. Just keep going for an MP412C. Next up, W Motors Fenner Super Sport. Pretty cool car, not worth it. I think it's 3.8 million. Yeah, 3.8 million. So just get it to a tar. If you have to get a car in this price range, then you should probably just get an F5. Lamborghini Urus, not worth it at all. Basically, SUV performance for $400,000. Just spend less and get an MP412C. Next up, old Corvette. Yeah, still not worth it, because old car top speed. Just don't buy any classic, to be honest. Ferrari Dino. This, at least I think it's a Dino. Not worth it for the price. Just bad top speed. Typical classic stuff, to be honest. Pretty nice looking car, though. Ferrari LaFerrari at 5.8 million. You're better off just getting a Hennessy Venom F5 for a lot less. Lamborghini Cyan, not worth it. 7.2 million or something. Yeah, 7.2 million. Not worth it for terrible stats. Lamborghini Vision 12 or something. Most people just call it the FFR. Would not recommend this buying with gems. If you win it from a wheel spin, then you should probably use this grind. You'll get a lot of hate from this car because tons of noobs got this, and it's basically a $7 million car in value. So, I mean, yeah, worth it for grinding if you got this as a noob. For GT, this used to be a pretty nice car, but now with the Selena S7, not worth it. Just buy that instead. I got no idea what this is. I just know it's not worth it. So, yeah, just don't buy it. Next up, this old, I don't know what, I really need to look into old cars, but not worth it. Old car top speed, you know, the usual. A Jeep Grand Cherokee is this from a long time ago? Not worth it. Just don't get any SUVs, basically. Lamborghini Sesto Elemento, pretty good car, but I mean, it's a Lamborghini, so it's not worth it. That's just how they are in this game. Lamborghini Diablo GTR, I guess is what this would be called. Pretty cool car. Would not recommend it. Just get a Selena S7. Newer BMW M3, I think. Not a bad car, not a good car. Wouldn't really recommend it. I have no idea what this car is. All I know is you should not get it because it's a bad deal. BMW i8, just like in real life, this car is terrible. Overpriced. It's a horrible car. Just stay away from this one. BMW. It looks like a Z4, but I don't want to say that. I'm just going to go with that. Z4 something. I don't know. Z6, is that a thing? Probably not. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Bad for the price. Apollo Aero. This car has kind of strange handling. I would not really recommend this. If you have to get a car in the 2 million price range, I'd get a Senna or just something like a 918. But I mean, it's not a terrible car, so it really just depends what you want. Honda, Acura, NSX, whatever you want to call it. It's a pretty cool car, but just not worth it in UD because it doesn't have the best of performance for the price. R35, Nissan GTR, whatever you want to call it. Pretty decent car, but I mean, it's still not worth it. Just get an MP412C. I'm so sick of saying that. Newer Acura NSX, Honda NSX, I don't know what these are called. Not worth it. Just get an MP412C instead. Nissan Skyline R32, R33. I think R32. I don't know, whatever. Not worth it. Just don't get it. Honda, is this a Civic? Yeah, I think so. Honda Civic. Nope, don't get it, Karen. Don't get it. This Lansing Belts, got no idea what this is. Probably should know, but I don't. All I know is don't get it. Classic car stats. Another Audi I don't know the name of. All I know is in-game it's called eSport. Would not recommend this either. For $266,000, it's got a pretty bad top speed, so just would not recommend this one. Lastly, this Nissan, I have no idea what. Don't get it. Crappy sedan. Cadillac something. I don't know my Cadillacs at all. I don't know what this is. I just know you should not buy it. Same goes for this other Cadillac right here. Neither of them are very good deals, so yeah, just don't buy either of these two. I don't know what this is. It's called a Croquet, KMC, Croquet, Croquette. I don't freaking know. All I know is it's a bad deal, so don't buy it. This Aston Martin, I don't know the name of. I just know you should not get it. It's a bit overpriced for what you get. Another Aston Martin. This is a terrible deal. I would not recommend this at all. Get a Celine S7 instead of this piece of junk. Aston Martin Valhalla, I think is how you say it. I don't even know. This is a decent car, but if you have a Valkyrie already, there's absolutely no point in this. It's basically a worse one of those. McLaren 650S GT3, I don't know what this is. I think that's what it's called. It's a pretty decent car, but I mean, for the price, not worth it. McLaren 720S, really nice car. Again, get Celine S7 instead. McLaren Senna. This and the 918 are the two most common cars you'll see that people first get over $1 million. The Senna's not a bad car by any means, but I mean, I personally would recommend skipping it and just using your S7 to either get a Tuatara or a Venom F5. McLaren F1 GTR Longtail. This used to be the best car in all of UD, but obviously it's not anymore. This car, there's no point in buying it. It's $7 million, I think. Yeah, $7 million. And its stats aren't bad, but there's no point with an F5 or Tuatara. So yeah, skip this, get Divo or Elvian instead. Audi TT RS, I think is what it's called. I don't know. It's a decent car, but it's just not really worth it. However, this isn't a terrible option if you're looking for something sportier than a 300C or whatever. Bugatti Chiron. It's an okay car, but I mean, for $6.6 million, there's absolutely no point in buying it. Bugatti EV110. This is not bad. It's not good. It's basically the same as a McLaren Senna, so just another option if you want it. Kia Stinger. This isn't a terrible car for the price, but in the end, get a Chrysler 300C, whatever it's called. Just better performance for the price. Mazda RX something. This is a piece of junk, and I wish it was never even in UD. Bugatti Cento DAC, Cento Dieci, Cento C blah blah blah. Yeah, I would not recommend this at all. This is, I don't know if this is the worst deal or second to worst deal to the Veneno, but whatever the case, it's up in the top 2 worst deals in all of UD. This is a terrible car at $17.8 million and basically Devo stats and performance. Would not recommend it at all. Mazda Miata Roadster. Nice enough car, I guess. Got the spider, so that's cool. Old Mazda Miata. Not worth it at all. Would not recommend it, but it's there if you want it. McLaren. Is this just called McLaren GT? I don't know. I would not recommend this either. Just get a Celine S7. The performance isn't even that great on this, so yeah, I would not recommend it. Audi RS6, I believe. Would not recommend this at all. It's a pretty bad car for $200,000+. This Audi in game, it's called D2. No idea what it is in real life. Don't get it. Pretty much a bad sedan for the value. So yeah, just would not recommend this one. Koenigsegg CCGT. This is a really nice car. It's not a terrible deal, but just get a Hennessy Venom F5 instead. This Jaguar, I believe, that can only be bought if you have a gift item, gift card. You have to buy some UD toy, I guess. I don't even know how it works. But yeah, I would not recommend paying the money for a real Roblox toy for this car.
Yeah.
The Arinera Husaria, not worth it. Looks like a McLaren mixed with Lamborghini, mixed with a Ferrari, then all assembled in China. It's just not worth it for the performance you get out of it. Koenigsegg 1.1. This is actually a decent car, but I mean, compared to the Tuatara, not worth it. Same with the F5. So yeah, I just would not recommend getting this car when there's an F5 or a Tuatara out there. Mustang. Is this tuned by Hennessy? I don't even know, but yeah, Mustang, would not recommend it. Honda something. Wouldn't recommend this one. Porsche 911 GT3 RS. This is not worth it for grinding, but it has really good handling. So if you're into like Delancey, this is a pretty good car for that map. Porsche 911, I think that's probably what this is. Not worth it. Not a good deal, not a bad deal, just is. Porsche Carrera GT, pretty cool car, but yeah, get a Celine S7 instead. Porsche 918 Spider, this is another really common car to see for people getting their first $1,000,000+ car. I would recommend just skipping it and the Senna and everything else and just going for a Tuatara or F5. Porsche SUV thing, pretty junky, would not recommend it. Lancer Evo, this isn't a terrible car, but yeah, it's still not worth the price. Mercedes G-Wagon, again, not even close to worth it. A Mercedes, I don't know what model this is, and game into GMS CK81, not really worth the price. It's not a terrible deal though. Hyundai, is that what this is? Veloster. The wheels are kind of rice. It has 3 doors, and it's not worth it. Another Mercedes out in the name of this is a GMS GTS 81. Horrifyingly bad deal for $444,000 and top speed 186 miles an hour. That's complete trash. So yeah, stay away from this car. This Mercedes, I have no idea what name it is in real life, and UD it's T81 GMS. Not worth it. SUV performance, piece of trash. This Mercedes AMG GT, I don't know what. Not worth it at all for $398,000, 197 miles per hour of top speed. Not even close to worth it. This car, Hudson Hornet, is that what it's called in real life? That's what it's called in cars. I don't freaking know. Yeah, not worth it. Tesla Model X, this is also not worth it. I would not recommend buying this car for the price. Just not worth it. Mercedes AMG CLK, is that what this is called? It's a CLK, I know that much. CLK GTR, something like that. A pretty cool car, good handling, not worth it for the price, but if you like handling, pretty good car. Otherwise, not really worth it. Koenigsegg Regera, again, not worth it. For the same price, get a Tuatara or save up a bit more for a Venom F5. This Lexus, I don't know what this is. Is this an RCF? I have no idea. In UD, it's called CXR, not worth it. And then this Lexus FX 315, which I don't know the name of either, is also not worth it at all. Thank you all for watching this video, though I'm pretty sure nobody actually watched through it all. This took me like an hour to do, just recording alone, so leave a like, because my throat kind of hurts now. Bye.